All I hear is hey now, the children are awake.
Oh,
Well, hello.
hello.
Welcome to week 2 of Lee and Sherry Patterson's Conscious Connection Church. And we are on what do we call it? The Comfy Connection Couch,
Yeah, the healing room.
the healing room. And as we were contemplating what we were going to talk about today, a question came across.
The universe
would
dropped it.
have it.
Yeah.
And that question will be what we're talking about today. And the question is, we always say stay in the now, but the now changes second by second. It flows like water. You can't hold water in your hand. It runs out. How can we truly stay in the now if the now doesn't stay? What are we staying in?
I guess
That was good stuff.
depends on really, we could choose certain words we could say right now to actually talk about what the actual present moment consists of. Present moment consists of infinite possibilities, not seconds. So if you realize that if you just focus the energy on infinite possibilities, you won't worry about a second because you'll be completely present. In connection, this is one of the hardest things to do because of too much past, too much future, not enough presence. It's kind of when we were connected and we were kind of trying to understand what this connection was really trying to show us. Of all the things that it threw at us in the mind, or the way the mind actually interpreted most of it wasn't actually being felt the way that it should. But we had a feeling between us that was forever present. We didn't have thoughts that kept us that way. So if you're looking for ways to stay present, a great awareness will be how often can you not be in your head versus being in it. Being able to listen and feel and experience your ever-presence. Ever-presence is no fear, no scared, no anger, no guilt, no shame. None of those things really actually exist in a version where you can just feel and just be felt. And this is the common theme of what connects us all. We're all up in here, we're not in here, connecting. You've never been able to connect up here. So when we're saying this, you're trying to absorb it in from this way. If you're trying to connect presence in this way, you've already taken away your ability to do that. Just from even considering a thought process can put you in presence. It just can't. You literally will feel it in the energy of the room, the silence underneath everything, the stillness and everything, the running water, the way things flow. The way that everything flows is always often about infinite possibilities. It's never been about just one, And if you're still trapped in time, that's the core issue. Time is not something we've ever been able to control. Time is not something you can actually dictate. Time is not something, all of these different variables, people would get up and go to work and go to school, or get up and go do this and get up and go do that because they have an agenda of things that they want to do, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the universe is coinciding with what they want to do. Time is just it's the way things actually layer over each other. It isn't necessarily the way things are. Time is consistently, I think when we're using time here, we're using it on clock time, not psychological time, and definitely not being time. Because being doesn't know what time is. Human knows what time is. Everything else knows what time is. You really don't have any need for time. But if your life was based on your own heartbeat and how many times it was going to beat, would you be spending time looking at a clock? And would you spend time making an agenda? Would you spend time? I mean, there is a place there inside of your heart where it's beating right now, and how focused you are on just each beat that it's giving you, what are you doing in your life purpose for it? How do you connect to that and stay connected to it? Not staying connected to it, well, who are you asking to connect to you? It's conscious to realize that the present moment is all you ever have. The present moment is the only place you can connect. The present moment is the only place you can actually exist. You could see yourself in the future with, let's say, a twin. You could see yourself in the future with, say, a future husband, future wife, children, big house, a fence. You can do that, but you're leaving the present moment every time you do. Anything that's going to leave you from this moment that you can do by thought is literally abandonment, rejection, and betrayal of the present moment. That's when you realize you have no more time. And literally, one of the best practices you can try to start practicing such a thing is to pay attention to everything around you that's going on around you, especially when you aren't with other people. Because what you're going to start to understand is you're part of all of that nature, but all of that nature is a part of you. This is no different when people are around. We just don't connect in that way because we're too busy up in here. Oh, I got to get to the grocery store. I got to get this. I got to do that. Oh, no, I don't think they're going to text me back. Or, oh, my gosh. I mean, all of those things are relative, but all of those things kind of narrow down to infinite possibilities. How do you stay infinite when literally that's your entire makeup and your matter? And your ability to move, your ability to connect is all in the present moment. Not your thoughts about the future, not your thoughts about last year or in the past. If you are seeking to identify yourself in who you are in the present moment, you've already missed the present moment because now you have to uphold an identity from time, not an identity from the present moment. This is why infinite possibilities are so hard for most people to grasp. We narrow down a possibility, and literally when it comes down to the now, we all fear it. We all fear being present. But some of the most beautiful things have been witnessed when you're present. How do you think we connected? I mean, it's a matter of presence.
But, so if I'm present now, now,
Right.
I'm always present in the now.
Right. And
so you flow in the now with the now.
And the now would be, the now I always ask you one particular question. It's not...
How does the now have time to answer anything? It's in a constant flow.
That's the question, is how. How do you stay present? Well, if you start telling yourself you have problems, if you tell yourself you're alone, if you start telling yourself an identity to actually have to play, how's that ever going to make you present? Oh, I'm going to see. Oh, I got to wait for this. Oh, this is going to happen. You're not even there for what's happening around you. So how are you going to be there when it really does show up? The now asks that one particular question. How are you going to be there when it shows up now? And, you know, most of the time, oh, I don't think I'm ready yet. Or they're not ready yet. They're not awake yet. They're there. It's more of an outgoing issue more than an incoming transmission.
Right.
So the outgoing is incoming, and you're missing your incoming. You're missing your incoming because you're so busy worrying about what somebody else needs to be, worrying about what they think, worrying about how they feel. But you're never worried about you. So when they don't, you get upset with them for not worrying about you the same way you worry about them. Well, maybe you should reflect that in your presence. Being present is actually the best way to be connected to. We are so leery of connection that we prefer disconnection than connection in this space.
Oh, that's the truth.
You don't. I don't want to connect with you now. I want to connect with you when I'm ready. I want to connect with you when you're. It's the when. But none of that never really did anything but push people away.
So, the direct answer to the question is
enjoy the silence.
where do we go?
It's where do you go is now. How do you go is now. Every answer to that is now. There is never, and you don't want to hear that as a finality because the mind won't actually.
The question is, what are we staying? We're staying in the now. What do you? If it how can we truly stay in the now if the now doesn't stay? So you flow with the now.
The now is constantly always staying. There's never a time when it's not now. It's never a time that it's not now. It's never. And then
You're always this moment.
Yes.
You're always this moment. You're always this moment. You're always this moment.
The most beautiful mantra you can have is I'm not what I think I am, I'm what I feel. I'm not what I think, I'm what I feel. I'm not what I think, I'm what I feel. I'm not what I think, I'm what I feel. Because what happens is we go so up in the mind zone, the time zone, as I like to call it, you literally never ever feel to even plant yourself in the now, to understand that the now has so much more healing power, so much more presence, and you don't have to have an identity in the now. And I think that's what the biggest fear is. Well, if I don't identify with my past, or I don't identify with who I'm going to be in the future, who I am now doesn't matter. Well, that's the only place you're gonna matter is the now. That's how we find that space of never mattering. We're not paying attention to the only thing we ever have. You cannot escape this moment. There's never been a time you've escaped it, ever. Go ahead, try. Oh, Lee, I teleported to the future. Well, tell us how you did that. I'm gonna teleport back to the past and change who I was in a former life. Yes, and now? You're sitting in front of us. You're not leaving the screen. It's like, well, I've seen it before. I've seen it. There was a guy named Doc and a guy named Marty. Back to the Future.
Talk about those
Einstein.
guys.
I do.
So much.
They got and they have a flux capacitor. Do you know what I would do for a flux capacitor?
They need to get royalties from you.
And well, the royalty is the now.
Royalties.
Well, how's that now? That is a fact. It is a fact that you cannot leave the present moment. You can in your thoughts, but your physical body, your senses, your see, hear, smell, touch, taste, you have them now. You have nothing else. If you think about that, your thoughts are going to, well, let me ponder on that. You're going to lose time. Let me ponder, or my favorite, you can always tell who's abandoning who when somebody goes, I need to think about this. No, wait a minute. They're present with you. You're present with you. If you go into your mind, you've already abandoned the feeling itself. You don't even see it. You don't. And it's a perfect excuse. This is a perfect thing to say, I want to think about this a while. Now, mind you, the present, when somebody's asking you something in the present and you got to go think about it for a while, now they feel abandoned, but you don't even realize you abandoned yourself with the feeling. Because whatever feeling you represented in that moment, you're not sharing it. You just jumped to your head and said, I've got to go over this space and feel it over here, then think about what I'm feeling. There's no presence in that. How could there be? Go ahead, we'll wait. Oh, wait a minute. There is no waiting in the now. There's only now. There's no stress in the now. There's only now. Stress is wanting to be there instead of here and now. Worry is what I could be running into in the future, not now. And we create all of these things from thought, and then we're like, I hope they love me, but you're not loving yourself if you're in time. When did time ever love you back? I mean, we are talking about this moment, not any other one. If I wanted to kiss Sherry right now, I'd kiss Sherry right now. And I'm telling you right now, it would be forever for me. It would be an internal, eternal, external, and eternity kind of kiss. Because that's what the present moment presents for you. And the only way you can actually be now is to be vulnerable. And the now and vulnerability, they're the same thing. Can't even say that the now and vulnerability aren't. So when you're asking, or when you're telling yourself, oh, I can't be vulnerable in front of these people, literally what you're saying, I have to abandon this feeling for thought for somebody in front of me who's not even paying attention. It's like you can't even see that that's how you teach people how to reject you. I know I was in my head, I was thinking about how much I love them, and then when I'm in front of them, they just do all these things that piss me off. Well, you're already in the future, your future telling you, shelving, you're doing all this stuff that accumulates to nothing but you being trapped in time, not them. If somebody moves on from you, it's because you moved on from them first. Here. Oh, I could see, oh, maybe they'll call me tomorrow. Ooh, I'm going to text them in hopes that they'll text me back. And it's like, I'm going to text them so in the future they'll text me back. Really? But if you're present and you send a message, if you're notes, you get an immediate response. With a, shh, don't tell that, because this will never understand that. Why? Why is that the way? Name one time you were taught in school, at home, how to be present. Name one. We'll wait. And when you didn't go to connection school and you didn't go to feeling school, how did you feel about that? You can't. You got to think about it because you know it never happened. What was the point of keeping us all from being present with one another? I guess that kind of taught us how not to love one another, or to allow the formless dimension of love to still exist, but never the formed one. I mean, how conscious can you be if you're not paying attention to that? Running water, the steady stream, the peacefulness of love, the vulnerability of the moment, the infinite possibilities that gives you. Who are you is not who you are. Now is who you are. And if you can't connect to that, it's just a disconnect. It's still connected to you, the present moment, that is. How are you connected to it? This is Conscious Connection Church. We're still kind of trying to figure out if communion should be what today should be, because it's the beginning of the month, the beginning of August. Leo moon. All of it is just more ways to align with what isn't. If you can't align in the now, you're out of alignment.
Thanks for watching. We will see you next week. And we're going to have some products behind us next week. And a website back here where you can find that product. And we're going to talk a little bit about it. So if you're interested in having your products talked about, just let us know. And visit us at relationshipreinvented.com. Send us an email for a free complimentary session.
Yep.
And happy Sunday.
Yes. We love you, and if nothing else, find us on Patreon. You see the inside of the connection and what it means to be now in connection, not then.
It's pretty crazy.
Yep. We love you guys. See you soon.
won't stop. Children, what's that sound? Something's in your way, go and burn it down. Stop. Children, what's that sound? Something's in your way, go and burn it down. Say, hey now, the children are awake now. Pipe down, it's more than they can say or take down. If they don't catch a break, they'll break down. All I hear is hey now, the children are awake now. Pipe down, it's more than they can say or take down. If they don't catch a break, they'll break down. All I hear is hey now, the children are awake.